Hello, welcome to the Rooms with Ronald podcast, brought to you by the Multifamily Media Network. I'm your host, Ronald Harrington. In 2023, I set an intention to shop 100 apartment communities to see how leasing was evolving around the country. Rooms with Ronald was born out of that experience. In this series, I share my experiences and engage in meaningful conversations with other professionals in the industry as we discuss all things related to leasing and marketing. Join in as we expand the Rooms with Ronald experiment. Welcome back to another episode of Rooms with Ronald. In today's episode, it's going to be a Microliving edition. For those of you just joining us, I'm your host, Ronald Harrington, and in the Microliving edition, we cover topics in 10 minutes or less because we know you are busy. So let's dive in. Recently, I was on LinkedIn and I saw some posts about wow fridges, which got me thinking about my favorite topic, right? Wow fridges in general. Now, guys, you should have seen the comments. They were wild. People for, people against, lots of opinions. But that's the beauty about our industry, right? Everyone can have opinions. Doesn't mean that your opinion's wrong because what works for you might work for you and not someone else. So I wanted to give you my hot take on wow fridges. Now, you might remember a while ago when I brought on the Microliving editions of Room with Ronald, I started it out with to model or not to model and how I hate models. So this should not come to a surprise when I say I am not a fan of wow fridges. I know, shocking, right? But let's dive into why I am not a fan of wow fridges. Okay, number one, most of the time, they're not wowing me. They are mediocre at best. A lot of them underperform. They might have a couple sodas here, some candy here, no real design, right? It's kind of just a refrigerator. Nothing that says, oh my God, I'm going to lease at this apartment because of the wow fridge. Don't get me wrong. I have seen some really cool designs. I have seen some with dinosaurs in them. In North Dakota, makes me think of the archaeological digs, things like that. I've seen really cool themes, but nothing that drove me to lease there. So that's my first thing. The second thing, a lot of times the wow fridges are in model apartments. Now, I know that a lot of people don't want to see models anymore. They want to see the actual unit that they could move into. Once we put them in the model, that forces our leasing teams to show the model. The model might be a 1-bedroom, but the prospect that I have in front of me wants to see a 3-bedroom. Or maybe it's a 2-bedroom and they want a 1-bedroom. So it creates this confusion for both the prospect and the leasing team. And it starts to create these objections. Because now the leasing team has to talk about the difference between the model, and it never fails in the model. It's the bells and the whistles, and our prospect knows that, about the actual unit. The other thing that it does is, if we're just going to show the model and this wonderful wow fridge, it takes more time, and it's a waste of both the prospect's time and the leasing agent's time, which shows we don't care about time. So that's kind of why I'm not a fan of wow fridges. The second part is that no one uses them, right? I can't tell you how many times I'm like, yeah, go ahead and open up the refrigerator and see what we have in there. Not a lot of people are like, oh yeah, let me take it. You do have some properties where people go grocery shopping at the wow fridge, but most of the time they don't. And one of the comments was from a dear friend of mine, and she was like, I took my kids on a property tour at a university for university housing, and they had a wow fridge, and she has teenage boys, and no one took anything. It's kind of weird, right? Like, you have to force them. A lot of times they're like, oh no, I'm good. So what I like to do, if I have to go to an apartment where they have a wow fridge and I'm touring, I open up the wow fridge and I was like, hey, I'm going to grab a bottle of water. Would you like anything? Here's everything that we have. The moment that I take something now allows that prospect to think, okay, the host, which is me, took something, I can do it, and it's not a big deal. So that's kind of how I overcome that. I can't tell you how many times I went to a property to help out, to lease or whatever. And the first thing I do every single time is I go to the wow fridge and I check the dates. Because a lot of times we set them up, no one takes anything, and things expire, right? I've cleaned out so many wow fridges where expired soda. It's always the diet soda that's expired, or the Sprite. I've taken out chips, and for the love of Jesus, people, let's not put chips in the refrigerator. That is just so weird to me. But the chips are expired, the candy's expired. I've spent more waste and time like throwing away things and wasting money on wow fridges because no one takes them. Why not take that money that we are spending on wow fridges and reinvest it into something else? Off the top of my mind, we could reinvest it in leasing training. We can invest it in team bonding. We can invest it in tools. We can invest it in so many different ways that would be more beneficial to the prospects. Here's the other thing about wow fridges. Once they take it and once they eat it, there is nothing that says ABC property, right? With the exception, you do see the water bottle labels. Again, a lot of properties are still doing that manually. So that's taking time away from our prospects, follow up, training, whatever. Otherwise, there's no branding. So there's no real point. And it leaves me kind of like, womp, womp, womp. Or you could take that money. So let's say your wow fridge is $200. That's what you're spending a month to create this wow experience in the wow fridge. Why not allow your leasing team that $200 to create experiences for our prospects? So maybe they take that $200 and they know that this person's coming in and they just got married. So maybe they have flowers for the newly wedded couple. Or maybe that they know that the person's favorite soda is Big Red and there's a gas station around the corner. Why not just grab them a Big Red? At least we know that's what they want. So by taking that $200 and allowing the leasing team to use it to better enhance the prospect's tour, makes it easier for the prospect to say yes. If you want to do something that's memorable, why not do a swag closet, right? We have properties that have merchandise all over the place, right? I mean, you got water bottles, you got cups, you got pens, you got everything. So why not put that into a closet where people open it up now? So now it looks like the apartment's lived in, but you open it up and now they can take something. So maybe they're going to take the water bottle. Maybe they're going to take the glasses. Maybe they're going to take the cell phone case, whatever it is that you have. Now, what that's doing is every time that they use it, they think of you. Every time that they use it, other people see it, and it goes further than that wow fridge. Because again, once the water bottle is empty, even if you put the label on it, guess what? They throw it away. So they don't think about it anymore. Out of sight, out of mind. Well, there you have it, guys. That is Ronald's hot take on wow fridges and why he's not a fan. I hope you've enjoyed this Rooms with Ronald Microliving edition. And until next time, guys, happy leasing.
Thank you for tuning in today. I hope I left you with some fresh ideas or a new perspective. Leasing and marketing are evolving rapidly, and Rooms with Ronald is committed to offering a place to hear about those changes. We also celebrate and acknowledge the fundamentals of exceptional service that will never go out of style. So, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. Visit multifamilymedianetwork.com to learn more about our other exceptional industry podcasts, thought pieces, and sponsorship opportunities.